My name is Missy. I'm a little excited about this reading today because I've wanted to get this particular deck here for a while. It's the Mystic Martian Oracle. So what we're going to do is a pick a card reading. We're going to look at your starseed origins. I want to look at what are your starseed origins, and more specifically beyond that, because I've always been very interested in starseeds. I have to admit I don't know a whole lot about them, which is the reason that I wanted this particular deck. But beyond that, you know, what are the crystals that are best suited for each starseed, right? So I want to ask that question today, which is why we have these two decks here. But more importantly, the reason that I'm doing this introduction is because of this particular deck. I just want to warn you before we get into the reading that this deck here is going to be a little bit explicit. It is called, as you can see, I'm not going to say what the title is. It's nicely bleeped out for me right there on the cover of the book. So as you can tell from the title, you know, it's not going to be for the faint of heart, which is exactly what it says on the back of the deck. But it's an awesome deck. Just give it a chance. If you're okay with some explicit content, give it a chance. So this is the box for that particular deck here, and what it says, in case it's not abundantly obvious, this deck is not for the faint of heart. If you clutch your pearls at the sight of aliens wielding phallic probes, this may not be the deck for you. However, if you possess a cosmic one capable of abducting farmers from their land and love all things ray gun and UFO, this deck will help you embrace your power and delve into your own psyche. So we're going to do a reading today looking at the starseed archetypes from this deck. And I want to ask, you know, not just what the starseed archetype is, and we're going to read from the book to see, it has some explanations in there. But I also kind of want to ask, what are you supposed to do with that? As well as, what are the crystals that are best suited for you? And we're going to do it in a pick a card format for each sign. So you'll see this introduction multiple times if you're watching for your sun, moon, and rising, or if you're cross-watching for other signs. Yeah, I think I've said everything that I need to say, other than these readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. So if the details for this reading fit for your personality, right, because your personality or your situation, because that's really what you're looking at here with these archetypes. So like I say, I wanted to explain that I am not an expert on starseeds. That's the reason that I bought this book. I'm learning about it with you watching this video, or maybe you know more than I do about it. Maybe I'm learning about it and just sharing what I'm learning here with you. But I thought we could explore it together. So you know, just take what comes from this reading only if it resonates for you. If it doesn't resonate for you, don't try to push it. Don't try to force it. You'll do more harm than good. And obviously, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. So if you have questions concerning that kind of stuff, you really need to see a professional. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Before we get completely into the reading, I want to go ahead and read what it says about starseeds here in the book. Let's see. Okay, so it says, starseeds prior to this or other Earth incarnations have experienced life elsewhere in cosmos other than Earth. Some starseeds have recall activated in their DNA due to Earth's limited recall access biosphere from ancient historical collective trauma. Others have no actual memories at all. All starseeds have an inkling, sensing, or knowing that this incarnation at some point originated and belongs to something somewhere far bigger. Many starseeds have an inner awareness level of consciousness development outside of the predictable mainstream narratives. Starseeds are typically spiritual in nature and have healing energies. Some are very new souls on Earth, while others are very old souls that have experienced many contracted incarnations on Earth to evolve and pass on ancient esoteric wisdoms. The newer souls will be continuing the older souls' work. Different starseeds will naturally resonate towards different aliens and galactic alliances. It is not uncommon for awakening starseeds to have dreams, memories of traveling ET crafts, or experiences of UFO encounters. Starseeds are here now to assist in the transitioning and activation of the collective consciousness on Earth. So, based on what it says there, I'm taking this to mean that, you know, you can belong to one particular starseed family but have interactions from many others. Hi, Leo. So we're going to go ahead and pull 3 cards here. We're going to get 3 groups, and we'll pull your crystal cards before we get into the reading. We have, give me 1 second. We have the song River by Bishop Briggs. Okay, so like I was trying to explain, first let me go ahead and get the groups set up so that you can choose which group or groups belong to you. And then once we get into the reading, what I'll do is I'll read from the book about these particular star family, and we'll pull some cards from the tarot deck here to see how you are meant to use this energy throughout your life. How are you meant to, like, use the energy to your advantage, basically? Or what is it that you're supposed to do with this knowledge or this energy? And at the end, once we get into the charms, that's where we'll look to see how or what's happening over the next month that you should be aware of. Actually, that should be group number 2. All right. Let's go ahead and get some crystals. We got 2 crystals for group 1. Oh, interesting. I'm just going to go with it because it actually feels like I need to put this here. This needs to go here. That's 4 crystals for group 1. Actually, it's this one right here. And don't feel left out, group 3. I was going to actually pull extra crystals for all of the groups anyway. So it's not like you're going to miss out. You just aren't going to know how many other crystals you have to work with until you're, or if you choose that group, you won't know until you're reading. So the first group is I just won't pull any extra cards because I obviously don't need to. It's probably the same thing with the second group. Okay. All right, so group 1, group 2, group 3. Okay, group one, we have the song All In by Adelita's Way. You might want to Google that to see. Actually, we're going to do the charms at the end of the reading, so let's move that out of the way. So your star family is the tall grays. Now let's see what your crystals are. We have selenite. We have the diamond, interesting. Boji stone, very high vibrational crystals. And then you have angelite, which is a stone of peace. And actually, it kind of goes like this, actually. Okay. So first we're going to read from the book about the tall grays. But beyond that, I want to talk about the selenite, diamond, boji stone. Angelite is a little bit separate energy, although it does feel connected to the diamond to me because of the colors here. These are the color rays that they fall on each of these crystals. So diamond and selenite happen to be two. Well, okay, so diamond is a healing stone. It's a very healing stone. It's a master healer along the lines of clear quartz, but it's just a little bit more of a refined energy, obviously. It's a diamond. It's a little bit more rare, where clear quartz is very abundant. You can find it all over the earth. Diamond is a little more rare. And so that makes the energy of the diamond, the vibration of it, it's higher vibrational. Same thing with selenite. Selenite it belongs to the upper chakras. And it is actually very much like an angel stone. So it's not surprising that you have that coming out with angelite. Selenite is the type of stone that you would use, like actually I use it in my house to like raise the vibration, right? You raise the energy of your home. You use them at on your windowsills, at your thresholds, everywhere that energy can come in, right? We have the song Stupid by Ashnikko. I was talking about stupid boy thinks that I need him. Very interesting when we're talking about very high vibrational energy, because this song is not high vibrational at all. And so maybe there's a need to heal something toxic, but we'll get to that in just a second. You'll have to Google the lyrics to see if there's a message for you there at all. There may not be a message for everyone. So when you talk about like selenite, again, it's one of those stones that it like raises the vibration. It's so high vibrational that it just raises the vibration of everything, right? If you use it in conjunction with protection stones, like over your windows and at your thresholds, it's a very good practice to keep. Especially things like obsidian, right? Like if you have people coming into your house that aren't really your friends, you want to be able to not only raise the vibration that they're entering your home with, like you want to clean all that stuff out of there, especially if they're thinking about you with toxic things, but whatever it is that they're thinking toxically about you or your home or whatever, it just reflects right back to them. That's what obsidian does, right? But the selenite just raises the frequency of everything that it touches. Angelite as well, but angelite is more of a peaceful, soft energy, whereas selenite is more of a kind of cold, icy energy. Because it's such a high vibration, there is a coldness to it. It's like, have you ever been out in, well, I've never been out in space, but you hear that it's cold in space, right? Like, you go up into an airplane, you go up high enough, like it's cold up there. So anyway, Also looking at the colors, it's pretty obvious that the angel light has a warmer color frequency to it than the selenite does. But anyway, beyond that, so mixing selenite with the boji, I feel like these two go together. I feel like the diamond goes together with the angelite and the selenite goes together with the boji, even though the selenite and the angelite have similar energy frequencies, in my opinion, because they both are angelic stones, in my opinion. The angelite is an angelic stone, obviously because of the name, but because it's so peaceful, it brings a calm to everything. It brings a peace to everything, which is, you know, angel energy. Okay, so the selenite, it says spiritual guidance is the key word there. So I feel like there is, there's a leadership, definitely a leadership energy attached to this star family here, even though I don't remember, this has come up before, but I don't remember exactly what it says. It does say there's an intimidation, and I know there's like a Saturnian kind of influence, like a very restrictive influence coming through, which can be a leadership energy, no doubt, especially in terms of business. But this says spiritual guidance. So I'm feeling this is more like a teacher, right? You teach in some way. Okay, so let's read what it says about the grays. It says, most agree, the song that's playing, Revenge, Extentation. Okay, so the grays. Most agree the tall grays come from the Zeta Reticuli star system in the Orion constellation, though some have made suggestions they may have come from the Andromedan galaxy, which is even further away. Others even speculate that they could be a future evolution of the human race returning here, or an alien race from the future that has traveled back in time. They are somewhat similar in appearance to the short gray, only much taller, and some have a slightly more noticeable nose. The tall grays are lanky with elongated, spindly limbs and an ectomorphic body. This song is screaming at me. Hold on a second. Little Toy Guns, Carrie Underwood. Okay, so Little Toy Guns. Remember, I said that angelite is a stone of peace, right? As you can see from the color, this is going to correspond to the throat chakra, and Little Toy Guns is about harsh words. So you might want to Google the lyrics to see how that applies to your situation, or if there's a message there for you at all. But I do feel, especially with this spiritual guidance, and if you're a teacher, there's something about harsh words here. And that doesn't surprise me with the grays coming through at all, and the Saturn energy that feels like it's attached to the grays. And so you may want to, you know, if that applies to you, you may want to do something about that. But that could be where the Boji stone comes in. But let me continue reading. It says they are somewhat, oh, I already read that part. The tall grays are lanky with elongated, spindly limbs and an ectomorphic body. They can stand anywhere from 6 to 8 feet in height. Like the short grays, some have 4 fingers on each hand, others have 3. They are not overly strong and have awkward bodily movements. Like their cousins, they too have no reproductive organs. The tall grays have also been associated with the abduction phenomena and are usually described as hostile, bitter, and cold. They also largely work under Alpha Draconian dominance and mind control. Many are now clones. Some blame the tall grays for the unexplained cattle mutilation phenomena, and some tall grays are positioned in scientific MyLab genetic laboratories and secret military negotiation departments. They are telepathic, psychic, and have an intimidating presence. The tall grays operate and function in a utility hive mind, Borg-like culture where individual thought is near non-existent. So in the upright, which it is, but we're going to actually read it as both upright and reverse. So in the upright meaning, it speaks of order, utilitarian, or utilitarianism, being organized, rigid, uniform, militant, obedient, intimidating, structured, and not approachable. If it's in the reverse, you are approachable. There's a free spirit. You're you confess, or you're able to confess. You're flexible. You have a laissez-faire attitude. You do not interfere in things that are not your business, and you allow space for others. Okay, so with this, especially the part where it says allow space for others, all of that, with this spiritual guidance, this light body, Boji stone, angel light of peace, I feel like you're definitely teaching something. Let's see what it is, what it could be. Something spiritual, obviously. But maybe just the act of teaching feels very spiritual for you, like you could just be a school teacher, right? But let's see what the cards have to say. You know, I might have to leave in just a second. My bird is squawking, which means she wants attention. The only problem is she kind of doesn't like the sound of the cards shuffling, so I don't know if she's going to stay out here with me if I go and get her or not. So I may have to pause the video here in just a second. Yeah, I am going to have to go pause the video. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so, oh, that flipped very quick. Interesting, that's the devil. So remember what I was saying about the harsh words? That's where that devil energy can come in. So I'm going to put that literally right over this tall gray, because I feel like that absolutely applies there. Another thing though, I am asking, like, how are you meant to use this energy? And you have the devil coming out, which is Capricorn energy. And Capricorn is Saturn energy as well. Hold on, we have the song. Life Goes On, Tupac. And it's 1:55 p.m. exactly as we say that. So it's like a new beginning, not 1:55, so it would add up to an 11, which is a master number. No surprise, since we have spiritual guidance and the light body coming through with the diamond, also with the Boji stone as well. And so having the devil card come through, right? I gotta be really honest. So, you know, having this master, oh, now you've got the death card on the bottom. So 2 major arcana with 2 8s, 2 number 8s here. So having the devil card come out, and the number 11, master numbers, or mastery, and we're talking about like harsh words or harsh energies, right? There can be a severe ego that comes through with the devil card, like really heavy ego that needs to be overcome, and we kind of already saw that with that song, Little Toy Guns, right? And I feel like, again, this is, you know, we've got the death card here on the bottom of the deck, so it's talking about something needs to change or be transformed. Something has died, right? Or someone has died, maybe, but this is death carrying someone who's passed off, right? But there's healing there with the snake. Very interesting too, we've got this 8 of Cups, and look at the way he's holding his heart. He's like, ouch. And if you listen to the lyrics of this song, it's talking about falling victim to the streets, and we're talking about teaching or wisdom. The devil card can be about like addiction, greed, all of that type of stuff, right? And then we've got someone here who's literally kind of, I would say imprisoned, but almost also hanging, right? So there's something maybe, I feel like you've overcome something very dark and heavy, and you're now supposed to teach others how to do the same, how to follow in your footsteps, how to overcome either addiction, more than likely it's addiction, with the devil card here. But it doesn't have to be addiction. It can be like overcoming, you know, toxic behaviors. Like it could even be like, you know, people rehabilitating after they've been in jail because of this card here, in some way. Like helping them to start over, or because that's what the death card is about. It's a transformation, right? You have to heal what has ended. And also it has to end for you to heal it. You have to walk away from it for it to end first, so that you can heal it and then move on to help others do the same. Especially with this Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is collaborative energy, but there's only two people here, so that maybe this is like addiction counseling or something like that. I feel like something. We're going to go ahead and get... And look, you've got the Seven of Wands now, which is very defensive energy. Bringing peace to people who have been in this energy. We're going to get some clarifiers here to see if there's anything else they want to say. Literally what you're meant to do with this energy is overcome it, right? Because it is lower vibrational. You're meant to overcome it. But I think also you're meant to teach, because we do have this here, the spiritual guidance. Those are two critical words. Power by Spinall is the song that's playing now. And actually that makes sense with the devil, because that's the devil is all about power. Power and greed and lust and all that kind of stuff. So you're definitely meant to overcome it, and I think that you're definitely meant to help others overcome it, but I don't know if that's necessarily your work, to be honest with you, because there aren't any pentacles here. There are cups and swords. Well, there's one pentacle, which would be the Three of Pentacles, but that's collaborative effort. So maybe if you work with someone else, but it's not giving me a whole lot that makes me think that you're actually physically out doing this as a job, helping people overcome greed and lust and all that lower vibrational stuff. Or maybe you're still trying to overcome all of that within yourself at the point that you're watching this. You know your situation better than I do. Actually, that one right there. So now we have the King of Pentacles and the Hierophant. These are both cards for Taurus. So Taurus could be, like, you could have Taurus in your chart. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. And the other thing about the Hierophant, you notice that he's giving his wisdom to the people sitting in front of him. So again, more teaching. So that literally goes over this selenite here. And then the Wheel of Fortune, like Wheel of Fortune, Five of Cups, and the Chariot. It's the Chariot is literally it's a card that talks about helping people to overcome chaos, or it talks about overcoming chaos, but I feel like that's what all of this is you're helping somebody to overcome chaos, to see, to hold on to hope, to see that all is not lost, because this is the main focus energy of the 3-card spread, and those 2 specimens are still upright. Those are the ones that have spilled. But even the ones that have spilled are sparkling and shiny. Look at that. Even the ones that have spilled have brought you good things. Whatever it is, like even being spilled, it's bringing fortune. Like even this loss is what I'm getting at. Like even all of that, which if you're still in lower vibrational energy, there's still something positive that you're gaining from that, and that's obviously the wisdom that you're going to pass on to others. But whether or not you do that as a career, I think is 1000% in your control. Like you might have a completely other job. It might be something completely different that you do for work. But yet you've got this gift, and they want you to actually use this gift to help other people to overcome greed, lust, and all of the lower vibrational energies that are attached to the Devil card. Okay, so what we're going to look at now, we're going to get some charms, and we're going to look at how, or what you need to be aware of over the next month in terms of how this energy might affect you, right? We have the song Inside the Fire, Disturbed. So we have the water rune, and you notice the money kind of caught underneath it. Actually, this one's up on its side as well. So this one came out like this, right? It's a $50 bill. And then this one is on its edge as well, and it's a $20 bill. So you've got 2 things on the edge, but one of them is stuck between your faith and your emotions. 2 types of abundance that you're right on the edge or precipice of. One of which, being the most abundant, is stuck between your faith and your emotions. So take that however it resonates, especially if you're asking, like, is something going to happen soon or whatever? You're on the edge of it, but there's something about your emotions that is clashing with your faith that might be holding it back or holding it up, or keeping it on the edge rather than, you know, there isn't enough force to push it over or whatever, you know. And then this one was sitting on its edge as well, which is the $20 bill, which talks about partnership and support or love, maybe, right? Because 2 would be 2 people coming together, or 20 would be the awakening. It would correspond to the Judgment card in Tarot. But I feel like this is talking about relationships. Like maybe you're right on the edge or right on the verge of some sort of a relationship, and you need to be aware of that this month. Especially because we have this piece of hematite coming out over the 2nd house, which is the house of Venus, right? All things beautiful. And the things that you value, which can be love or money. So that partnership doesn't have to be love. It can be a business partnership for those who are not interested in romance. But I think for most of the people watching this is probably going to be like a romantic thing. You're like right on the edge of it. You are attracting, I think, probably a Libra. It doesn't have to be a Libra, but more than likely you're probably attracting a Libra, or at least balance, right? If this is a money issue with the Libra being there, that means, again, you're attracting a partner. Because Libra is 7th house energy, it rules or owns the 7th house naturally. So it's the house of partnerships, and that, like I say, can be a business or love partner, and it's coming in the 2nd house, so that could be more than likely business partner for those who are asking about that. For those who are asking about love, it's going to be love. Okay, so coming out over the 12th and first houses, there's going to be a person, place, or thing that affects you that you either are ignoring or you don't see coming, with the letter G attached to it. And then for the 3rd house and the 4th house, Texas could be important in some way for you, but it doesn't have to be. Could be attached to your family, maybe cousins or something like that. Because I say that because the 3rd house, well, the 4th house is family, but the 3rd house is like your siblings, your peers, your cousins. The 4th house are the people that live with you. These are the people that live near you. So again, take that however it resonates, but it doesn't have to be Texas. It can just be a person, place, or thing with these letters attached to it. We have the song Caught Up in the Rapture, Anita Baker. Okay, so I'm going to leave that here. I hope that resonates. If it does not, please stick around, or please watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, anything that you can to help me, and it really does help me. And I thank you very, very much for watching. Hello, group 2. Ooh, you are the first one to get the Venusians. Interesting. And you've got Zircon with Crocodile. Oh my God, okay. So we've got life changes and passion coming in with Venusians. Obviously, very obviously, you are meant to use your energy for love and family or something, some sort of partnership. You're meant to find your other person. I say that for 2 reasons. Number 1, the Venusians card is all about romance and soulmates and empathy. But then we have the Crocodile. Crocodile is all about passion. It is a very sexual stone. It's literally what people will use it for, is to increase the sex drive, right? But it's also one of those stones that's kind of hard to find. So we're gonna get at least 1 more crystal. Well, maybe 2, because we already have the zircon there. Zircon is another one that might not be all that easy to get. Like, you can't just find it in jewelry. Well, I guess you can, but it's the other way that you can't find it. It's not in jewelry, right? I apologize for my bird. She doesn't always like it when I shuffle the cards, so she might have a problem. She just said what to me? She's like, what? Anyway, okay. 1 more shuffle. You may have also been attracted to the first group because of the song that's playing right now. I think it was the last one for group 1, which is Caught Up in the Rapture by Anita Baker. And that really fits in with this here. Oh. Actually, I feel like it's those 2. We've got Peridot, the bringer of joy, on the bottom of the deck. Now we've got Lapis Lazuli with gold, realization, and the solar angel. Very interesting energy to come out with those. I feel like it's the realization over your soulmate, right? Like with the solar angel as well, it's like, and gold, like it's like maybe when you see them or when you meet them, the sky is open, like that silly, you know, the silly way that they would show it in a movie or something, right? Okay, excuse me for coughing. But you know, we just have to read the energy the way that it's coming out. This is very, you know, lovey-dovey energy. I'm going to go ahead and read from the book what it says about Venusians. We have the song Kill the Noise, Papa Roach. Okay, so the Venusians are humanoid extraterrestrials that live on our Venus sister planet within our solar system. Venusians are descendants from the Lyra race, Venus is extremely hot and on third dimensional realms uninhabitable by human standards. However, Venus is teeming with exuberant life and highly evolved civilizations. Venus has sophisticated environmental technologies that protect its colonies. These beautiful people coexist in complete harmony. Venus has no wars, is completely egalitarian, and has neither money systems nor fraud. You know what? I call bullshit, only because this is supposedly Venusian energy. If it's supposedly Venusian energy, Venus can be very jealous and very greedy. So how can you have a planet where there's no war if it's Venus? I'm so sorry. I don't mean to argue with whoever wrote the book or all of the research. I'm so sorry. It's just be realistic about some of it, right? Like, in fact, let's be realistic about life in general. Let's be realistic about life in general. And while we're at it, let's also talk about twin flames, because we're talking about soulmates, because I do have an issue with the twin flame theory, as a lot of readers will put it out there, meaning this runner-chaser BS, right? I think the twin flame theory has to do with getting aligned within yourself so that you can be healthy enough to be in a relationship, so that you can be healthy enough to be with your soulmate. And we have to be real about Venus energy. We're talking about Venusians who live on Venus, and everything that you've ever learned about Venus energy talks about, the balance of it, the two sides of the energy. So how can you have a planet? I'm sorry, but how can you have a planet with no war? It just sounds like BS to me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if anybody's upset by that, especially whoever wrote the book. Okay, so it says completely egalitarian and has neither money systems nor fraud. Now, okay, I can understand where you can have civilizations with no money systems, as long like communes, right? But anyway, so similar to their distant cosmic cousins, the Pleiadians, the Venusians also have a tarnished history. Eons ago, before they collectively shifted their consciousness and frequencies, the Venusians' egos nearly wiped their entire bloodline out and almost totally destroyed their own home planet, which forced them to wake up and ascend. Maybe I should have just read the rest of the book instead of going off on my tirade, because I guess they're going to touch on what I was talking about already. So Venusians reside in the higher astral realms of the fourth dimension, which somewhat parallels in appearance to the third, only more alive, luminous, and enlightened. Due to their activated consciousness, they are able to be fully present in their etheric light, and in their etheric light body form if they desire. They can also manifest into their 3D material body if they choose. And it's so funny that this song just came on, Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's. Can you hear them? They're talking about us, telling lies. Well, that's no surprise. Jealous, greedy, mean girl Venusian in her toxic energy, right? Sometimes you just can't make this up. Like, this is the reason that I listen to music when I do these readings. It always fits. Okay, so, well, not for everybody. I should preface that by saying not for everybody, but, most times, like the music, you just can't make it up. Okay, so anyway, it says, due to their activated consciousness, they are able to be fully present in their etheric light body form if they desire. They can also manifest into their 3D material body if they choose. They are very psychic and extremely empathetic. They are masters of manifestation. A structured form of telepathy is used for communication within the Venusian community. While in their astral form, they do not eat actual food, but rather absorb energy as a form of sustenance and nutrition. Many Venusians visit and some are contracted to live here on Earth. The harsh densities of Earth can make the initial 3D transition difficult for them. Valiant Thor was one well-known Venusian that worked at the Pentagon in the early 60s during the Eisenhower presidency. The Venusians are energetically and deeply connected with the heart vibrations of unconditional love and are participating in assisting the conscious awakening of the Earthlings. So the card meaning in the upright is romance, unconditional love, empathy, soulmates, twin flames. Funny that shows up here. Mutual attraction, true love, open heart, dating and courting, marriage, and self-love. And so I just want to say again, like, I don't mean to make anybody angry, but if you subscribe to the twin flame theory where they talk about the runner and chaser, and you're one of those people who is in a relationship with a narcissist or someone who's abusing you in that way, abusing your love and your willingness to forgive, you're not in a healthy relationship. That is not a twin flame relationship. You have to be completely balanced within your own self in order to have a healthy relationship, and that means that you have boundaries that you do not let someone like that cross. And someone like that who is going to be engaged in the runner-chaser mentality is someone who is not engaged in looking out for your best interest, which means they are not healthy within themselves, which means you are not healthy within yourself, and that relationship is not a twin flame relationship. So I just want to make that very clear. I'm so sorry for getting on my soapbox. If you want to unsubscribe or tell everybody how you hate me, I'm so sorry. Please go ahead. It's what I believe, and it's what I will always believe. So in the reverse position, this is unrequited love, which is what I think most twin flame theory is. Infatuation, crush, obsession, heartbreak, closed heart, and breakup. Okay? So with that said, obviously you're meant to have your person, you're meant to have a relationship, but how are you meant to use that energy in your life, right? Is it just simply that you're meant to get married and that's it? How boring, right? Like, how boring. That's the end of it? We just get married and that's it? We don't do anything, build anything together? What? But maybe that's just me. Okay. It could be too that, you know, maybe, God, I hate to say this, and if this is the case or your situation, I'm so sorry. But I have to say what it is that's coming through, what my instincts are telling me, right? And it could be that maybe you have lost your love, right? And you are now helping other people to appreciate their love. So just take that however it resonates. I do think in some way you're meant to help people appreciate love. We have the song Hello by Pop Smoke. And by the way, that was playing when I was giving my little sermon, so I think that's just funny too. Okay. Okay. See, I'm sorry, but like if you do look up, I'm just listening to the lyrics of this song, right? I was talking about this runner chaser, and this dude's talking about I like my bitches, and he's talking about all kinds of different women, right? So just again, just take it however it resonates. All right, so we've got the Four of Cups. Look at somebody very sad. Oh, come on, very sad, very tired of the situation they're in. Been there, done that. Boredom, boredom, boredom with my situation. You're bored. Okay, so what's going on? What do you need to do with this energy? Oh, interesting. Okay. We've got the Two of Swords. I apologize for my bird. My dad just pulled up, so I'm actually going to have to pause this video and come back in just a second, because she's going to keep squawking and making a bunch of noise while he comes up to the door. Plus, I want to go open it to let him in. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that delay. My dad brought coffee. The gift of coffee. Okay, we have the Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and what I was getting ready to say before is that the way that she's sitting in this water. So Two of Swords is about a choice that needs to be made. This is a very emotional choice that needs to be made. Also, swords are about communication. So, you know, Oh, look at, and then we've got the devil on the bottom underneath that, with the emperor below that. The emperor could be someone who's two-faced, living a double life, right? Could be a Capricorn or an Aries, because that's the two signs that are ruled by these cards. Capricorn would be the devil card here, and then Aries would be the emperor here. Maybe they have a combination of both. So we have this song, Barracuda Heart, and it's 2:33 p.m. So the number 33 is a master number that actually breaks down to 6, which is the number of Venus, right? But 33 being a master number also speaks a lot to me as well. Like there's something about mastering this energy here. Now we have the song Faded by Alan Walker. So let's look at these cards before I say too much. So we know that there's a decision, an emotional decision that needs to be made. But we've got the Magician, the Five of Cups. We have the King of Cups in the reverse, the Ten of Wands, the Hierophant, the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Wands. I'm just going to read them one at a time, because I just feel like I wanted to put them into a Celtic cross to read them by position, because it feels like, rather than a story, it's sort of by position or something. So we're going to read them one at a time. The Magician card says, first of all, how you're supposed to use this energy is 1000% up to you with the Magician card here. And it's based on a choice or a decision that you need to make that's very emotional. Especially with the song playing in the background right now. It's like, where are you now? Where are you now? Which I think applies to this, well, the Five of Cups and this King of Cups right here. Okay, so how you're supposed to use this energy 1000% is up to you. It's based on your decisions, your emotions, what you are able to handle and what you are not able to handle. And so then we get to the Five of Cups. And the reason that I was saying what you are and are not able to handle has to do with this Five of Cups. If you look at her, she's laying in a bed. She looks like she's just depressed and crying, like she can't get herself out of bed, and it's because of these cups that have spilled. So there's some sort of loss, but she's not paying attention to what is still left to be hopeful for. There's still hope here with these two cups. And I just want to point out, you know, there are two people in this card, and that we're talking about soulmates and twin flames, and the possible loss of a King of Cups, which can be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But, you know, when it's in the King of Cups is in the reverse, this is someone who is not emotionally mature enough or ready enough to have a relationship, right? There's something about their emotions that they need to heal because they're in their detriment when they're in the reverse. So let's go back to the Five of Cups, and I think that's what why she's crying here in the Five of Cups. Maybe even drinking because of the song Faded. You know, when you drink, you get high or whatever, you get faded. So maybe that's why she's laying in that bed, because she's faded. She's, and it's fade as in F-A-D-E, not fated as in F-A-T-E-D. So I don't want you to get mixed up as to what I'm saying. I'm saying fade as in she's fading away. And it's, you know, she's fading because she's high or drunk or something, maybe, I don't know. Take that however it resonates for your situation. but it's also because she's not paying attention to what there's still left to be hopeful for, which is the relationship, the actual relationship, which is so weird because I think we have, hold on, we have the song, hold on, How Do You Want It, Tupac. So I think this is a situation where you've got somebody who's not mature enough for a relationship. Okay, we already read that one. Somebody who's not mature enough for a relationship. And yet they're saying the thing that you have left to be hopeful for, or the thing that you have left to be thankful for, is the relationship, which is so weird. So you've got to take that however it resonates. But then we get to the Ten of Wands. It's a burden. It's heavy. There's a lot of work. But the 10 is the last card in the cycle before you get to a new beginning. You're starting over with a 10, right? Or excuse me, the 9 is the last one before the 10 is a new beginning. Because with the 10 of Wands, you can set this burden down. Cut those strings that are keeping you attached to this castle or this authority or this whatever it is over here, right? So there's something that there's an attachment to something that has or holds authority over the relationship in some way. It's probably something that holds sway over the King of Cups in some way, okay? But with the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Wands always talks about how, like, literally, it's time to set the burden down. You're no longer, like, you fulfilled your responsibility. This was the last step. You're no longer responsible after this, right? And so I think this relationship is difficult. It's probably a burdensome relationship, but I think it's just that the other person is not mature enough yet to be in it. Once they are mature enough to be in it fully, they will be. And I hate that I'm saying that, given everything that I just said about the whole runner-chaser dynamic. But I think what it's saying in this case is that, at least based on so far what's going on, I have to read it the way that the cards are coming through. And the Five of Cups always talks about you still have something left to be hopeful for. And it came through as being the relationship is what you have to be thankful for. So now we have the Hierophant. It could be that this is a marriage because of the Hierophant. And just look at the way that he's looking behind him. So maybe you guys have you're separated, or you have your backs turned to each other in some way. You're not looking at each other in some way, or he's the other person. Like, if this is an actual marriage, that means that there's something happening right now, but they don't want you to give up on it. They want you to stick with it. Because it's a marriage, because of the vows that you took, right? Like, and I can see that you feel chained by those vows as well. But it is a situation that you put yourself in. You made those vows, you made that promise, right? Especially because this is the Eight of Swords. Those were words that you spoke if it is a marriage. And then we've got the Five of Wands. So this is telling me that it is going to take a lot of work, a lot of acrobatics in order to overcome. You see how she's leaping over everyone else, this one girl here, in order to overcome all of the problems or the competition, right? Because I don't know. It could be that there are other people. Like, if you're in a marriage and this is somebody that cheated on you, like normally in any other reading, typically the cards would come out and say leave, 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 and yet in this one, I can't deny that it's saying that you should stay. There's something about your person just isn't mature enough yet, and I hate that I'm saying that. I really hate that I'm saying that, but that's how you're supposed to use this energy. There's something about you learning about what real love is just as much as the other person. Maybe you're not as innocent as you want to claim. That could very well be it, and the reason that I say that is because we have the Steeple Hailstorm. If you listen to any of Hailstorm's music, especially like the song I Miss the Misery, or there's just a few of them, like you listen to any of her music, right? Like it's about combative relationships. I don't know the words on this one. I'm just going by what I know of this artist. Hold on, let me see if I can get, well, we've got the lyrics here. It says, "It stopped raining in my head today. I finally feel like myself again. Redemption's here at last, back where it all began, in the place where God and the devil shake hands. This is my kingdom, this is my cathedral, this is my castle, and these are my people. This is my armor, this is my anchor. It's been a long road out of hell up to the steeple. For this is my church, and these are my people." So basically, this song is saying that's why, almost exactly what I was saying before you made this vow, you said the words, especially if this is a marriage. If it's a marriage that's having trouble, or, you know, a commitment that's having trouble, especially if there's competition, for whatever reason, your star family energy is coming through saying that you need to stick with it. And I cannot apologize enough for giving that advice. It just feels so toxic. And yet you know your situation better than I do. You know whether or not you are, you have a hand in the toxicity of this relationship or not. I have a suspicion that you probably do have a hand in the toxicity. Otherwise, the message wouldn't have come out that you said the words, you made the vow with this Eight of Swords. You said the words, you made the vow, and now you have to stick with it. That's why you're chained in this difficult situation. Let's get some, any more clarification or anything else that they want to say about this before we move on to the charms. And what we're going to look at with the charms is what you need to be aware of over the next month regarding this. But for this right here, for your entire marriage or your entire relationship, let's see if there's anything else that they want you to be aware of. It's like this song and all of it, everything that's coming through is saying this, it's for good, for good. Look at Temperance. You have to make this work. That's what it's saying. You're going to have to find a balance. You're going to have to find a happy medium in some way. Now we've got She Don't Know by Carrie Underwood. So yeah, there's definitely cheating here. There is definitely cheating here. Now we have the Seven of Swords, or the Seven of Ray Guns. Look at how angry she looks. If you have been out there, going and having your own relationships because you're like, well, they're cheating, so I'm going to as well. But this is like a marriage or committed relationship where there's either children involved, or you've blended resources and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, I don't know, it feels like this is a marriage at least, but if it's not an actual legal marriage, it's a very committed relationship that has been long-term, and it might as well be a marriage. But then look at, we've got the Queen of Discs, which is like an earth sign. So either you are an earth sign or somebody is an earth sign, but I think the other person, like this might be energy about the other person. Somehow it's attached to the other person, or at least one of the other people, because I think there's multiple other people. I think, and more than likely it's probably on both sides. Now we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Single independent energy. Well, I'm a single woman, I can do whatever I want kind of thing, right? That's how she looks right here. You don't have to be a woman. It's just the way that it's being depicted on here, and that's the way that it felt to me. Like, I'm a single woman, I can do what I want, is how it feels. Especially with this, right? Like, I'm a single woman, I can do what I want, especially if you're out there doing what you want, right? That's how it feels to me. And it's saying she don't know that she can have him too. And it also right here, she feels like she's serving up that disc right there. The first time I saw this card, I felt like she looks like a waitress to me. So again, it feels like with this song, like maybe you're saying about your partner, I don't want him anymore. Take him, you can have him. Come on, focus. Like, take him, you can have him. I'll serve him up to you on a silver platter if you want. And I think your angels, ancestors, and star family are saying, oh, guess what? Guess again. All right, so take that however it resonates for your situation. We're going to go ahead and move on to the charms now to see what you need to be aware of over the next month. And interesting too with Peridot, the bringer of joy on the bottom of the deck. I feel like, because I was wondering, you know, I thought, oh, you know, that makes sense for, you know, soulmates. I was thinking this soulmate was going to bring joy, but now it really kind of, it's odd to me that that's there if this is a cheating situation, but in some, I guess in some way, especially if you've been contributing to the cheating as well, like in some way you balancing and healing this situation is going to bring you joy, because it's going to bring you a healthy, happy relationship once you guys both mature. And also, as I said that, I got the feeling that maybe you guys are pretty young as well. Maybe that's part of the reason that it's saying, look, you said the words, now you're stuck. Or if you're not young, then you were not thinking, and you were using your immaturity to make the decision, and you know, it's still the same message. Okay, so now we have a Tantrum by Ashniko. And it's funny because she's like, ooh, sorry mom and dad, I did something bad. Almost like I went out and got married when I shouldn't have, and now I regret it. I don't know. Take it however it resonates. You might want to Google the lyrics and see how they, if they apply to your situation. And break a heart like an eggshell, cardiac arrest, a heart attack. That's what she's saying in the lyrics. Yeah. Okay. So very interesting, because before I even get into any of the other charms, we have the spoon, which is upside down, and we have the Leo charm, which is upside down, and the Leo charm is sitting over both the first and second houses. So this is a Leo reading. The first house is going to represent you personally, as well as your physical body, your appearance, right? Your own health, the health of your body, also your ego and your personality. And the second house is going to represent your values. That can be any kind of personal values that you have, like, you know, I value my freedom, right? That could be a personal value that you have. But also your money, your valuables, those things that you have or you own that have value. So I'm bringing that up for a very good reason, because the Leo charm is sitting over both the first and second houses, and we are talking to Leo, and it's upside down, which means you do not see yourself clearly, or you're dealing with another Leo. But I don't think you're seeing yourself clearly. I don't think you're seeing how you are contributing, what your own values are contributing to this situation. And I say that because the spoon came out upside down. I always see the spoon as taking a dose, or, you know, having to eat something, or eating something, nourishing yourself, or something in some way, right? Or a dose of medicine, especially when it's upside down. It's like you've already now taken this dose of medicine, right? And it could be about your pride. But over the next month, they want you to focus on that. Focus on your pride, and they want you to focus on taking the medicine. Meaning, even if it hurts a little bit, sometimes medicine is unpleasant. Sometimes it is very bitter. It tastes nasty. We don't like it. We don't want to have to put it in our mouth, right? Sometimes the pill is too big to swallow, right? In this case, it's something that's going to be bitter, because it's a spoon, and you're obviously going to get the taste of it. So it's not going to be very pleasant, I don't think, because your lion, or the Leo, is upside down, telling me that Leo is in its toxic energy, prideful, egotistical, wanting too much attention, wanting all of the attention to an irrational degree, right? We have the song, and as I'm saying that, I should say, we have the song Try Sleeping with a Broken Heart, Alicia Keys. So this is what you're angry, you're upset about all of this stuff, and it's going out into the world, and it's saying, like, wait a minute, what is your part in this? You have to look at that. It's very important. They brought it up multiple times now. And then coming over the second house, we've got the letter P, and we have the $5 bill in the upright. So change, a change in your values, like your value system, right, is going to be abundant for you. It also could be that some money is coming in, but I think because we're talking about your value system, it's saying it would be a very good thing for you to confront your ego and to change some of that. Also, especially if it's surrounding a person, place, or thing with the letter P, which was hidden from you, by the way, because that was upside down. Either you're ignoring that, the letter P, or you don't see it, okay? So coming over to the third house, but it's also in the very center. So let's go ahead and look at the center now, since we're here and we're looking at a charm that's in the center. The third house has to do with communication. I'm going to come back to the fourth house before I actually do get to the center, and I'm going to actually travel this way and then come back, well, this way and then come back around and up and then over to the 11th house, because it all ties in together. So we have communication with the third house. The fourth house here is all about your security, home, and family. This can be the actual house that you live in. And when I say family, I mean the people that live in that house, even if they are not related to you, okay? The fifth house is the house of creativity, romance, and children. And then when we come up here to the opposite of the fifth house, we have the 11th house, which is your house of friends, extended family, like, aunts, uncles, or, great grandparents, things like that. Extended family that you socialize with, but they don't live with you. Right? This can also be people that you network with or socialize with online, or people that you network with for work. But because it's sitting in opposition to this fifth house, and we're definitely talking about romantic situations, I think this energy here is definitely going to be talking about romance and such, like probably romance as opposed to friends, and we'll get to why I say that, or not as opposed to finding romance amongst your friends, and I say that because of this charm, which we'll get to in a second. So starting off, we've got this shirt. It's a Hawaiian shirt, which I always, associate Hawaiian shirts with vacations, right? Most people will buy theirs when they're on vacation so that they can relax and lounge around and be comfortable, right? But also I associate the shirt with like change, right? Because you change your clothes often. If you're clean, you do at least. So changing the way that you communicate, which we already saw over here in the first house, and that's because you've taken your medicine, you've confronted your ego, and you're accepting that there are parts of your ego that are probably not all that healthy, right? Which means then it brings you to changing your communication, which is what they want you to do. We have the song Treat You Better by Shawn Mendes. Okay, so it talks about changing the way that you communicate so that you can speak from your heart to the people in your family, the people that support you, the people that bring you security. And then we got the frog here. So frog is very watery energy, but it also leaps, right? You're leaping from one thing to the next, and that might be a problem. And if it's not you leaping from one thing to the next, maybe it is the other person that's leaping from one thing to the next, and you need to really change the way that you communicate about that in some way. Like if you are loud and obnoxious about it, maybe stop. If you, I hate to say this because it sounds like manipulation and using tricks to get what you want, but if you stop showing that you care, they might realize and be like, what the fuck? All of a sudden they're no longer caring that I'm out. Like, what happened? Where did my attention go? Because I think this, obviously based on this reading, this is your person. This is meant to be your person, but I think you both are kind of like blinded a little bit, or maybe too young, too immature, too something where you're not quite ready to be healthy yet or something. And there could be this dynamic where they like the fact that you get jealous or something, or maybe it's reassuring in some way, and that's so sick. It's so sick that it's coming through like that, and yet it's coming through like that. Especially with this song, you know, in the background, I know I can treat you better than he can, and any girl like you deserves a gentleman. So we have this tiny little piece of lepidolite, which is a stone that you would, like, lepidolite, literally, it has natural lithium in it. And so it's a stone that's really great for anxiety. And it's coming out right next to the palm fronds, which I always associate with the need to reach out, right, for community. It reminds me of community. And I feel like you're very anxious about community, or all of the other people, all of the competition. We saw that with the Five of Wands, right? All of the competition. You could be dealing with a Pisces because of this particular charm. It's the Pisces constellation. And it could be that this eclipse that we just had on the 8th, sorry, real quick, we have one more song, Fuck You by Kaylee Morg. Very interesting that that's coming out right here, because this song talks about, he calls me a hothead, then he sets me on fire. He said that it's my fault, that he's a liar. And so this kind of plays into your reaction to this, you know, behavior, this back and forth leaping behavior. And if it's not you, it's the cross-watcher who has this reaction, right? But I think maybe the other person, especially with this song, kind of likes it, especially where it says, he said, you're only as good as you are when you are with me. So I hope you're no better than to leave, right? Like, as soon as you try to leave, this person's going to freak. Or as soon as you stop caring, this person's going to freak, especially if you've changed the way that you act, behave, and react with this eclipse that we just had. We just had 2 eclipses, actually, within the last month. But on the 8th, we had the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. And so all of this energy is leading to the energy in the 11th house with this portal here, this threshold. You have to come through this threshold, right? There's something about coming through this threshold in order to become friends with this person. It's like your love comes from friendship, or comes through friendship, comes through the social circle, it comes through socializing. Now, again, I hate to give advice that sounds like I'm saying go out and play games. And I know that I already kind of said that you need to confront your ego, especially if you've already been out, like, with other people. If this is a marriage and you've already been cheating because the other person is cheating, right? And you're like, well, I'm a single person, this person's off with their person, I'm single now. You know, unless you have legal paperwork for a separation, or legal paperwork that a divorce has started, you're really not single. And so if that's the case and you're really not single, you don't have any legal paperwork to say that you're really single, and you've been out dating, maybe you don't want to date anymore, but I think you do want to go out and socialize. And I say that because I want to make it very clear. It's going to sound like you're playing games, but I feel like this energy is saying you want your person to think that you're dating. You want your person to think that you're out having fun and socializing, because that's going to freak them out, and it's going to make them realize what they're missing and what they really want. And like I say, I can't believe I'm giving this advice, and yet I have to read it the way it's coming through. Now we have, look at, as just exactly as I said that, the song Head Over Feet, Alanis Morissette, started playing, and it says, I had no choice but to hear you. You stated your case time and again. I thought about it. So take that however it resonates. And also it says, you treat me like I'm a princess. So maybe you spoil your person, or you used to spoil your person, and you let them keep coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, and getting away with it. And you have to change your behavior and make them think that you are the one who's out having fun now, so that they're like, holy shit, what happened? We have over the 7th house here, we've got it's a sun that kind of looks like a star, right? And actually, if we can get it to focus, come on. Oh, this camera is so annoying. Come on, focus. Oh my God. Well, anyway, it's also an eclipse. It's got the moon and the sun on there. It's also showing an eclipse, right? And it was upside down on the board over the 7th house, which is the house of marriage and partnerships. And so it could be that the eclipse is bringing in changed energy, or bringing in a huge change for you, whether that's to you personally or with your person. But you don't see that as of right now. At least when you're watching this, you just don't see it yet. You may not see it even for a month from the time that you watch this, because I did intend for the charms portion of this reading to be for the next month from the time that you watch it. Now, when it comes to the 8th house, which is the house of joint resources, sex, and death, right? Also inheritance, like the money that you inherit from others. But you've got the cross here. It's actually a Celtic cross. And so it's you know, deep faith, but also intuition, because the Celtic cross, this is a tarot reading, and the Celtic cross is a very famous tarot spread. So use your intuition, but have faith, right? Use your intuition to be able, because the 8th house is the house that's owned by Scorpio, and Scorpio is very strategic, right? Scorpio is a really good chess player. And it's because Scorpio likes revenge. Like, they will plan things out, you know, in order to get their revenge. They'll plan things out for forever if they have to, in order to make it perfect, right? Like, that's just what Scorpio energy is. And so I feel like it's saying with this Celtic cross here, have faith in your intuition to guide you every step of the way, right? The 9th house, we have it's a leaf, and then we have this, well, it's actually kind of straddling the 9th and 10th houses, which we'll get to a second. So with the 9th house, the leaf that's there, it reminds me of like fall, right? The leaves falling, turning over a new leaf, which is also what happens with fall. They shed the old leaves in order so that new can be born. This is coming out over the 9th house, which is your subconscious, your higher self. So you know that there are things that you need to change, and it's time to do that. It's time to turn over a new leaf. We have the guitar. We have another leaf here in the 10th house. So it's definitely connected here. Turning over a new leaf is going to do wonders for your career and reputation, right? You might do something creative, or get creative with that. Get creative with your career. But then we've got this particular sun, which is my happy sun. Look at that big smile on the face. But on the back of it, it says, made with a smile. Okay, so whatever creative thing that you're doing, I think you're not smiling or something. What's the, you don't enjoy it so much anymore. Maybe like your smile is hidden because it was upside down. It does say made with a smile even when it's upside down, but it's upside down and the smile is hidden. So either you need to smile more, or you need to find something that you're passionate about. We have the song Love is a Battlefield, Pat Benatar. We already spoke about the 8th house, or the 11th house. So the last house that we have to speak about here is the 12th house, which is the house of things hidden. It's what you hide from others, as well as what others hide from you. It's your hidden enemies. It's your hopes, your dreams, your fears, your fantasies. It's also prison and institutions, right? So we've got a piece of lapis and the letter A. So more intuitive energy with this lapis, absolutely. It's a very, very, this is a third eye stone. Pineal gland stone, lapis lazuli. Very much dreamtime stone, which corresponds to the 12th house very nicely. But beyond that, it could be that you have some dream, fantasy, or fear surrounding a person, place, or thing with the letter A. Or this could be a hidden enemy as well. Could be someone that someone or something that you're hiding from someone else, but it feels like, you know, it feels like dream time or something, either dream, fantasy, something. What is this? I don't know, something about dream. Maybe you've been dreaming about something intuitive that has to do with the letter A. And I feel like it might be something that you fear as well, but I don't know if you absolutely have to, but you just have to take that however it resonates for your situation. Maybe it's a fear, maybe it could be one of those fears that if you keep focusing on it, you bring it to fruition, but because it feels like maybe you fear it, but I don't know if you absolutely have to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave the reading here. I hope that resonates. If it does not, please watch your, or please check out your sun, moon, or rising. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends, anything that you can do to help me, and it really does help me. So I thank you very much for watching. Hello, Group 3. So we have the Syrians A, and Imperial Topaz, Confident Manifestation. And look at the crystal or the stone that she's got here. It looks like an amethyst there. We've got what looks like, I don't know, maybe ruby or something right up above him, and then possibly even in Imperial Topaz up above there. I feel like crystals or jewelry or something is very important to, oh look, artistic integrity and honesty. So definitely there's going to be something about jewelry or crystals or something. Let's see what's going on. We're going to read from the book, but I want to get a couple more crystals. Because not everyone is going to be able to or want to work with Imperial Topaz. So let's just see what else you could work with if you wanted to. I do feel a very strong gemstone jewelry connection here, just because it was the first thing that I saw when this card came out. All of this jewelry that she's got in this, in the very front, and this center right here, it goes all the way down her dress. Look at that, how gorgeous that is. It also feels like completely balanced energy system as well. Like it's representing that all of, like she's just completely balanced, right? We have the song Consequence by Incubus. It just hit me, this could be a Reiki thing. Like you could work with Reiki in some way, if it's not jewelry. Like all of those crystals could definitely be a Reiki thing. We want one more. Give me 1 second. I just feel like we definitely need one more. Okay, so now we have black coral, light in the darkness. Does not surprise me at all with this coming through. Like literally, I think you are a light in the darkness in some way. Definitely healing energy, probably with Reiki. But that's what Reiki is, right? Reiki brings light to the chakra body, or brings energy, light, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Look at gold. So we've got Imperial Topaz, which is a golden colored crystal, and now gold. I'm just not surprised by this at all. Definite healing energy, regardless of what you do. Okay, Kunzite, heart activation. I feel like that one needs to go here. Oh, and then Azurite, focus. All these two go together. Okay. So literally you're focusing to activate. It couldn't be more clear. This is absolutely, like, I think you would definitely have a gift of healing through Reiki. Whether you do that with like maybe you also create jewelry, or you work with crystals, maybe you sell crystals, or there's something where you use Reiki for the with crystals in some way. But definite with these two here, this is definite some sort of Reiki energy. So if you don't already know what Reiki is and you don't already use Reiki, we were going to ask anyway, how are you meant to use this energy that's coming through? I don't even know why I'm going directly to the tarot when I haven't even read from the book yet. Hold on one second, I'm jumping ahead of myself because I feel like I already know what it's saying, how you need to use it. But let's read what it says about the Syrians. We have the song Unfortunate Soul. Kaylee Morg. There's my glasses. Okay. So Syrians A, or the Syrian A beings, come from the brilliant and brightest star in our skies, Sirius, or the dog star, which is in the Canis Major binary system, possibly trinary, which is 9 light years from Earth. The planet's name originated from ancient Greek Syrios, for scorcher, and is mentioned in Surah, chapter 53 of the Quran, titled The Mighty Star and Lord of Sirius. Ancient Egyptian goddess Sopdet, and later Isis, was queen of Sirius. Greek goddess Sothis was also of Sirius. The sixth-dimensional Syrian beings are benevolent, loyal, spiritual warriors who bear service to others. Not surprising at all. I swear to God, this is a Reiki situation. Okay, so they are disciplined, reserved, and have self-mastery of healthy detachment, connection to all, and integrity. They have strong ties with Mother Earth's oceanic realm. They're calm, non-political, watery, and non-confrontational, yet can defend themselves easily if need be. They value honesty and transparency and prefer symbols to words. They are lovers of music, sacred geometry, and singing. The Syrian A beings, like the avian blue beings, live within the Ra, law of one principles and practices. Syrian A beings visited Earth during ancient seeding projects and later worked with Egyptian, Sumerian, Inca, Mayan, and other ancient civilizations. Ancient Mayan legends say the Syrian A beings were the keepers of the 13 crystal skulls. The Syrian A beings were also involved in ancient cosmic wars with the Orion Alpha Draconian Empire. Cetacean, dolphin, whale, mermaid heritage originates from Sirius A. The Syrian A beings are a complex hybrid collection of species, though usually stand 6 to 7 feet tall. They have a vast array of skin colors, from brown to very dark complexions to gray bluish tones. Many have large protruding brains on the upper back of their skull. The amphibian genotype of Syrian A beings have webbed toes and fingers and a diversity of aquatic features. The card meaning is artistic, music, integrity, honesty, truth, gracious, serious, transparency, ocean creatures, merchants and traders, crystals, told you, I knew it was crystals, singing, accomplishment, success, commitment, and loyalty. And then in the reverse position, we have disloyal, repressed emotions, non-committed, concealing, commitment phobic, aloof, and indifferent. So you know which of those energies you are in right now, but let's go ahead and get to the tarot cards and see what they have to say about how you are supposed to use this energy. I do feel very strongly that it's definitely with crystals or jewelry, and it's definitely Reiki related, but we're still going to go ahead and keep going to see, because not everyone is going to agree with that. Or maybe you're watching or listening to me and you're like, what's Reiki, right? Massage could be another, like if you don't know what Reiki is, massage could be another field. In fact, massage and Reiki are kind of closely related, just in different ways. You don't actually touch with Reiki. Okay. Let's get one more. One more. We have the song, and it's actually been playing for a minute, which tells me maybe you don't really know what you want to do. We have Young Life Crisis by Upsal. So maybe you don't actually know yet. Like maybe you are artistic, but you don't quite know how to put it into... Oh, we got the Five of Pentacles. Maybe you don't have the money to do something with the Five of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, but hold on, let's see. Okay, so we've got the Judgment. Beautiful Judgment card. Now we've got the Ten of Swords. We have the Magician. And the Ace of Wands. Okay, so with the exception of this 20, it's all ones. 10, 1, 1. But actually 20 is a double 10. And 20 is the awakening, the ascension. But even this Ten of Swords doesn't feel as sad as most Ten of Swords would be. I gotta be honest. She actually looks like she's in prayer and she's just brought an offering, and it's got vibes of like Stonehenge to me. So, you see those flowers there? She's brought that offering. She's got the sword across her lap. And then boom, the statue with all of the swords around it. Well, actually, there's two other, I can't really tell what those are, but this statue, I don't know why Stonehenge is coming up, but it just kind of feels like the sacred sites. Like there's something about sacred sites, about sacred sites, sacred land. Hold on. Conservation. Endless. If you, okay, so we have the song Love Wins, but as I was saying, conservation, the lyric that was talking about politics and prejudice, where is it? Politics and prejudice, how the hell did it ever come to this? When everybody's got to pick a side, it don't matter if you're wrong or right. No. And there's something here about conservation, sacred land, conservation, global warming, environmental conservation, that kind of stuff. Especially with this Ten of Swords. Typically the Ten of Swords is about betrayal, but not this particular one. I mean, if you are a reader who only reads traditional and you don't read intuitive, then definitely you would read this as betrayal, which is what the card is about. Betrayal and heartbreak, but not this, not to me. This is not about, not this card. This card is somebody who's in supplication, who's in prayer, maybe even in gratitude or thanks. And it's in supplication to a sacred site, sacred land, sacred earth. Something, it's coming through very strongly, especially with this song. And it could be about animals also. Like maybe that's where like this healing and Reiki comes in. Maybe you have a touch with animals. If you are working with crystals, it could be that maybe you're an activist about maybe the way that they're sourced, right? Maybe that's something that you're supposed to do is make sure that they're sourced responsibly and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe that's something, maybe it's an activism thing that they want you to kind of, like a mantle that they want you to take up. Especially because of this Five of Pentacles, which is a card of lack, right? You lack resources. And if crystals are being mined, because they are a trend and a moneymaker, think about how quickly that's going to deplete those resources. So this Five of Pentacles definitely comes into play here. And the Four of Swords that was underneath it on the bottom of the deck, which is a card of healing and rest. It's time to take a break, right? It doesn't have to be constant. Constant pull on natural resources, because I do really feel like conservation is coming through very strongly. Okay, so let's see any other clarification about this that they want to give before we move on to the charms. We have Your Turn by Memphis Mayfire. You may want to Google that. Yeah, it's saying the price that you pay for being two-faced. So again, it's going back onto this. What goes around comes around. That's how the world turns. You'll get what's coming to you. Then maybe you'll learn. It's coming back to this conservation message here with that song. Damn, it's like the problem is you is what it's saying on this. I don't know how that applies to your situation, but take it however it resonates. Oy. Okay, one more. Oh. All right, so now we have the Five of Specimens on the bottom of the deck. So it could be that... well, first of all, this absolutely plays into the whole conservation. What has already been spilled, we can't do anything about, but there's still some left, right? You have to preserve or really focus on what's left and caring for and conserving what's left. That's number one, because again, this is the Five of Cups, which is regret. You're going to regret, which is what the song is talking about. You're going to regret your actions later if you don't do something about it now. I might get a drink of coffee real quick. Okay. And now we've got the Eight of Cups, the Three of Probes, and the Ace of Probes, the Hierophant, and the Lovers. Okay, I gotta be really honest. This right here is saying, if you don't walk away from, and it's not talking about you specifically, I think this is your message. I think this is literally going back to the conservation, environmental message, where it's saying if you don't walk away from the things that you're doing now, just wait. You're going to feel like you got fucked later. Like, maybe some people would enjoy this, right? To me, it looks a little bit painful, especially if... the way that it's being like, the way that it's being expressed to me, the way that I feel it's being expressed, you would not enjoy where this would get put, basically, if you don't turn away from your ways, is what the message is. Now, I don't think this is for you specifically. If it is for you specifically, you know that already without me having to tell you, right? Like, you can feel it. You feel the hit, the slap upside the head that tarot is so well known for. But it's saying, if you do walk away, you're going to avoid all of that. And it's because of, like, you have, really, this is saying, this is you teaching others to love either Mama Earth, nature, whatever it is that you feel that needs to be conserved. There's some sort of conservation, something or other. But also, again, we do still have this whole Reiki thing, right? Because Reiki is about balance and healing. That's also coming through. We have the song You Don't Own Me, Joan Jett and the Black Hearts. So again, conservation, you don't own me. Maybe you're spreading the message that we don't own Mama Earth. And we have to do better. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the charms, because the charms are going to tell us what you need to be aware of over the next month regarding this energy. Try to change anyway. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure where I want to go first. I kind of feel like I want to come right here. Actually, we're going to expand it to the 10th house. So we're going to go between 10th, 11th, and 12th houses first before we come to the rest of all of this. So we're actually going to start right here with this particular rune. This is the rune of like inheritance, right? And it came out like this upside down. And it's coming out with the microscope, which is sitting on top of the word joy, which is sitting with the charm that says the walking dead that just happened to be upside down, right? So literally when it's upside down like that, that's energy that you are either ignoring or you do not see. Having the microscope on top of joy is saying that it's like pay close attention to what brings you joy, because, you know, there's a very good chance that you don't see that the inheritance is gone, or like there's no inheritance, like there's no abundance to be inherited, especially if we're talking about conservation, conserving the environment, Mama Earth. Like if we don't stop, there's nothing for us to inherit. How are the meek going to inherit the earth if there's no earth left, right? If all the resources are gone. We have the song Legends Are Made, Sam Tinez, sorry, I said that wrong. So that should be your main focus this month, is focusing on the joy, what brings you joy, right? Because you don't see that, you know, you don't see what's coming if you keep the way that things are going, right? Like you don't see the death that's coming or the end that's coming if you keep things the way that they are. We also have the seahorse here in the center, which I know I'm kind of backtracking away from this energy, but this is in the center and it's not hitting any of the other houses, so we're going to talk about it right now because it is sitting over here with all of this. And the seahorse is all about, like, it's very watery, nurturing energy, but it's also masculine energy. I say this all the time because it is the male seahorse that nurtures the babies, and so every time I do see the seahorse come up, that's the first thing I always think of, which, you know, that's probably why I think of it, is because, or, you know, at least that should be the meaning of it, or that's the meaning I give to it for the charms. And so having that in the center is saying, it's talking about either you need to nurture your father, there's something about your relationship with your father, or if you have children, you need to nurture your relationship with your children. If you are a masculine, you need to nurture or embrace your inner, the feminine, receptive, watery qualities that you have in your personality. And that comes back to this paying attention to the joys, right? Like, especially if it's saying nurturing your father, your relationship with your father, or the relationship with your children, those would be some of the joys that you have in your life that you want to pay attention to, or pay close attention to, I should say. So then we come up to the 11th and 10th houses now, because we already spoke about those particular crystals. And by the way, those were what was sitting here for the 12th house. So in the 11th house, you've got the cross, which talks about having faith. But I think this is more about having faith in your friends. They want you to have faith with your friends. Also your social circle. And then in the 10th house, you've got the lighthouse. You have the key, which I'm going to explain this little thing in the center here. We have the RIP headstone. And then we've got the star. And just as I'm getting ready to explain all this, we have the song. Oh, look, it's exactly 3:33 p.m. as well. We have the song Help by Papa Roach. It's 3:33 p.m. 3 is the number of collaboration. And then all of this energy, which is energy of your career or reputation. So you're not seeing, first of all, that something is dead, because that was upside down. And if it's not that it's already dead, it needs to die. But you've got the lighthouse and the key, right? So this key, you see this little thing in the center, which is actually a triquetra, but or a spiral, right? But a type of spiral. But it really, the way I always see it is as that little piece that you would put on a turntable if you were trying to listen to a 45 record, a single. And so there's a puzzle piece that's missing, probably whatever it is that needs to die or that's already dead that you need to get rid of. But once you find out what that piece is, that's going to guide you into this recognition with the star, right? Because that's what the 10th house is all about, your reputation. You're in the world at large. And so to have the star there says that you want some sort of recognition for something that you've done. But there's some piece that's missing, and it's either something that has died or needs to be gotten rid of. Like, that's the missing puzzle piece. The one thing that's going to make it worse is actually getting rid of something. Also, but you need help as well, too. So maybe there's somebody that you need to get rid of. So in the 9th house, we have made with love, right? So when you do say goodbye to whoever it is that you say goodbye to, like, you know, you need to be compassionate about it, right? Like, whatever you say, do it with love. Like, you know, really think about what you're going to say before you do it. Come on. Come on, focus. So annoying. Okay, so we have the hourglass for the 8th house. We have the queen that came out upside down. And we have a piece of tourmalated quartz, which is more tourmaline than quartz. And so this is talking, and actually the tourmalated quartz was sitting between both the 8th and 7th houses. So this is talking about protecting yourself financially, because the 8th house is the house of joint resources, and the 7th house is the house of partners. You don't have as much control as you think you do, because that queen is upside down. The queen is sovereign. She's in control. She's the leader, the boss, right? And it's something that, like, it's just a matter of time. Like, you have to protect yourself, and it's just a matter of time before you find out that you don't have as much control as you thought you did, or maybe you know, somebody else is doing something that maybe they shouldn't be doing. Like, you might need to protect yourself from them. And you see that it says head queen right there, kind of like head bitch. So maybe you've got a boss that you have to protect yourself from. If it's not an actual marriage partnership, I think it might be a boss that you have to protect yourself from financially, I think. It also, because this is the house of inheritance, it could be something that you might have inherited through your ancestral line, like DNA. It could be a health thing that maybe you want to go and get some screening to see how to protect yourself from that as well, because that's what tourmalated quartz is. Quartz is a master healer. And so, you know, whenever it comes out, I always think about balance. But in this house, I would, and with all of the energy that's coming out, it feels like it's saying maybe there's some sort of health concern that you want to go and get checked out to protect yourself from. We have the song, Straight On, Heart. Oh, it could be your heart because of the song. Anyway, so the fifth house, the fifth house here, within several months, there's some sort of wisdom and clarity coming to you regarding your children, your creative pursuits, or romance. And then in the third house, we have a lot of emotions, a lot of emotional communication coming through with this particular, with the moon. And I think it's building, emotions are building, and they're getting stronger and stronger as they go based on how that feels. In the first house, we have the letter O, but this is like a couple of months out. So it could be a person, place, or thing that's going to affect you personally within probably 3 months. It feels like 3 months from the time that you watch this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. I hope it resonates. If it does not, please watch your sun, moon, or rising. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the notification bell, anything that you can to help me, and it really does help me, so I thank you very much for watching.